All right, Eric. So first of all, what is your goal? What's your goal in mind? Because it all depends on what your goal is. If you know the amount of training per week that you need to do, or your eating habits, has to do with your goal. What do you want? Do you want to compete in competition? Because that requires a very strict diet and a strict training plan. Or do you just want to be healthy, which doesn't require a strict diet and a training plan? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want a six pack? Oh, okay, my goal is to be healthy since I'm currently having a fat belly, obese. Okay, I want to, of course, be stronger, and so I can see my muscles. So if you're coming from obesity, your main focus right now would be compound movements, something that involves the whole body or multiple body parts in one exercise. Like, also, got got to be careful or mindful of any injuries. You have any knee pain, you have any back pain, you have blood pressure, any medical conditions. So you have to take all these into account before you know what kind of exercises you can do. And now, when you say you haven't trained in 2 to 3 years, what kind of workouts did you end with? What kind of workouts were you doing? You know these things too. So I know where your level is at and what experience you have. So yeah, your question is not a very easy thing to answer because it's very specific towards your individual performance, because you're coming with obesity and you can't do particular exercises yet. Otherwise, it might cause you more harm than good, depending on your blood pressure level. But what I can do is give you information on how you can lose the fat belly, which basically comes from your diet. And you would be training generally, okay? Just saying generally. I'm not sure your particular situation, medical conditions, and stuff like that. But you could be working out 3 times a week, at least 20 minutes or so. Some sort of cardio, such as walking, running, jogging. Depending on your knees, if your knees have issues, do not do any of those. You'll be better off doing swimming if you can swim, or rowing. If you go to the gym and you use one of those rows where it's like a little boat or something like that, and there's a wheel that spins and you pull. That's good cardio. Or you can do roping. So roping, you grab the ropes, like it's basically right here, and you just do that. Very high intense cardio training. Just don't involve a lot of leg movements or vibration towards the knee if you do have knee pain, because most of the time when people are overweight or obese, they develop knee problems because of all that weight that they have to carry, and your joints are going to be affected by it. Yes, so you were doing bench press, leg presses, like squats, deadlifts, such as what I'm doing right now. These are all good movements to have, and these are very effective in burning fat and also losing weight. So you can continue doing those. Those are the types of compound movements that I suggest doing. But if you have experience in that, then you can go straight ahead to that. But then you also have to include some high intensity cardio to just burn that extra fat off when you're doing these weights. So after you do your weight training sessions, like those benches and shoulder presses, deadlifts, squats, stuff like that, get a little bit of cardio, walk, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or jog a little bit. Again, notice if there's any knee issues, you would do the other exercises that I told you that doesn't require much running or knee impact. So you can supplement that weight training with high intensity cardio after, so you can get that out of the way. So once you get all that workout out of the way, now that's only 50% of the goal. You want to lose the fat, you want to see that belly shrink, diet. Well, not diet, but change your eating habits. Because you know why I don't like the word diet? Because it's a short-term goal when someone says they're dieting. Because what I usually teach my clients is that you want to be able to eat something that you can eat for the rest of your life without rebounding back to your old ways. So instead of thinking it as a diet, think of it as changing your eating habits so that you can live with it for the rest of your life, so you don't have to go back to your bad habits, right? So you don't have to eat like, what these bodybuilders are saying, raw chicken, not raw chicken, but raw vegetables, or like broccoli and chicken breast that is not salted but boiled and stuff like that. You don't have to go that far to lose weight. If you look through my YouTube channel, I eat all sorts of fast food and frozen food and stuff like that, and still be able to maintain a good shape. only because I know how to do it in moderation. So when you know how to do things in moderation, you will be able to shed those fat off, at the same time enjoy your life eating whatever you want. Now that's just my particular experience. Everybody's experience is different. Maybe you like to do that 180 and go for chicken breast and raw broccoli, but I am not the type of person who would be able to eat that every single day of my life. That's very good advice. Yes, I eat sometimes junk food and candy and sugar I need to throw away, right? I mean, like these things, right? You can have once in a while. I mean, I eat ice cream. I drink Coke. Like a lot of people who are my viewers, they know that I love Coke. I drink at least a glass a day. And it doesn't have much of an effect on me because I know how to moderate. Because what is a glass of Coke? This is where counting calories become very important. If your overall calorie intake is 2,000, right? And you want to maintain that 2,000 calorie count, a glass of Coke won't hurt you because that's only about 100 calories because I calculate how much I drink. And I don't drink that much. I just like to have the taste at least once a day. So getting rid of sugar altogether is a wrong advice to have because nobody could do that. No sane person could do that. And I understand that. I'm a personal trainer. I understand that. So you don't have to get rid of it. You just have to be in moderation of it. Now, that is to say, if your goal is just to be healthy and not go for competition lifting or competition in terms of body composition where they measure your muscle and how good you look overall, because that requires you to not eat any sugar at all. That's a totally different goal. So do you think I will gain weight starting to lift since my hunger will increase and my muscles will grow equals weight? So yes, muscle is heavier than fat. But because you have an excess of fat, because you're obese, you'll be able to lose weight, but at the same time, gain muscle. So you can still lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. You lose fat and still gain muscle. You're not converting fat to muscle. You're just losing the fat, but you're also building muscle from different components. Now, hunger is an issue, right? Because when you start working out, you burn a lot of calories, and calories comes from your food. However, different foods have different satiety effect, which means they affect your hunger differently. So many times people make the mistake about carbohydrates, right? People say don't eat carbs because it makes you fat. The thing is not that it makes you fat, it's just that you can easily overeat carbohydrates because they have a low satiety effect, which means that you're able to consume a lot of it and still be hungry. Now, the type of food that have high satiety effect is protein, so meat. So you ever wonder about Atkins diet or like high protein, low carb diets and stuff like that? The reason why it works is because protein keeps you full a lot longer. So if you have a high enough protein count in your diet, you won't feel hungry all the time. So that's an easy way for you to lose weight. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to cut carbs completely. I don't like those diets where they say, don't eat carbs, only protein and fat. I want you to eat carbs. I want you to eat protein. Lower the fat count. Do not eat too many saturated fat, and you should be golden. Now, why do I require you to eat carbohydrates? Carbohydrates is your immediate source of energy. Your body uses carbohydrates to help you do things. It doesn't use protein for energy unless you're undergoing ketosis. But that takes more energy to break down protein than it does carbohydrates. So therefore, you're not going to get that immediate source of energy that you need from protein, which means that you're going to feel tired most of the time. And when you feel tired most of the time, you can't give your 100% in the workout room, and therefore you're not burning as much calories as you want to or build muscle as you want to. So when you have carbohydrates, you're able to burn off the excess carbs and calories, build muscle, and still be able to perform your maximum amount of workout per session if you had carbohydrate instead of feeling tired all the time. There you go. You got a nice list that you like to eat. You got chicken, meat, salmon, rice, potato, and pasta. Everything on that list is good. I don't want stuff like I don't want to be seeing like cake, cookies, and ice cream and stuff like that. Obviously, those you want to like cut and limit those. But what you just listed there is totally fine. More protein will help you stay full longer, so you don't feel hungry and you overeat calories. So yeah, and always count your calories. The amount of protein what you need is 1 gram per pound of body weight of the weight that you want. So let's say you want to be 200 pounds. You eat around 200 grams of protein. What is 200 grams of protein? Well, one medium-sized egg is 7 grams. One large egg is about 10 grams. A cup of milk is about 15 grams of protein, around there. And one scoop of protein powder is about 25 grams. So these are relative amounts that you can think of how to eat and get your 200 grams of protein if you want to be 200 pounds. If you want to be 150 pounds, eat 150 grams. If you want to be 180 pounds, eat 180 grams protein. What is a great fat carb protein ratio, weight loss? In my opinion, 55% carbohydrates will be from, 55% of calories should be from carbohydrates, around 25-30% coming from protein, rest fat. Monosaturated, unsaturated fat. Do not focus on trans fat or saturated fat. Those are the bad fat for you. Your carbohydrates should be the most amount of calories your most amount of calories are coming from carbs. That's what you need to get stronger, to be more focused, to be able to have enough energy to do things, basically like that. Yeah. 25 to 30%, yeah. You still need some fat because your cells are also composed of fat too. It's not just carbs and protein or enzymes. It has fat, like phospholipid bilayer, which is the cell membrane of the cell. But I don't need to get into biology here. But basically, your cells need fat. And where you get the fat is from unsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, stuff that are good fat for your cells. So where do you get those? Fish oil, avocado oil, olive oil, stuff like that.